Congress voting to advance a short-term spending bill that funds the government until March. That bill now heads to President Biden's desk. The measure passing the Senate with 77 votes in favor, 18 Republicans voting against it. In the House, the continuing resolution passing 314 to 108, but House Speaker Mike Johnson needed Democrat help to cross the finish line. 106 Republicans voting against that bill, meaning more House Democrats supported the bill than Republicans, and this has enraged hardline conservatives who are now reportedly planning revenge against Speaker Johnson. Members of the Freedom Caucus may begin to hijack Republican messaging bills. That is according to a report in Axios. Joining me now is South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman. He's a member of the House Budget and Financial Services Committees. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Okay, I understand this was another Band-Aid. This is short term. This isn't long term. So I understand the frustration with that by many on the Republican side. At the same time, are we about to see another repeat? Is this going to be Kevin McCarthy 2.0?
No, Cheryl, I wouldn't support that. Mike Johnson's a good man, and we just disagree with what happened yesterday. The cancer in this country is overspending. Why are we funding a government that is providing an invasion at the border? Most Americans are getting a front row seat to what the 8 million plus that are in this country legally. So we had leverage, and we presented this to Mike at several meetings. And it wasn't just the Freedom Caucus, it was others. We've got to put a stop to this, or at least show the American people we're fighting for them. That didn't happen yesterday. We took the Pelosi-Schumer spending, $1.659 trillion, and we've got 2 more dates to work with, March 1 and March 8. It's insanity, to say the least.
But I think, what we have seen erupt in the House over the last several months, especially under when McCarthy ended up getting ousted, was just this complete disagreement, and some would call it disarray in your party. I mean, isn't there a way to come together without maybe throwing Johnson under the bus or with having these fights? I mean, because, a government shutdown no one seems to have a taste for that right now.
Yeah, but Cheryl, you look at what's at stake, and I don't call it fights. We're just having discussions. I mean, if you could be with us and see what's behind the scenes, we've got a legitimate argument that this country is spending more than it makes. We're at the end of the runway to try to handle this, and particularly with the border. I mean, we've seen what it's doing to the country, and it's going to be hard to roll that back. But the House of Representatives controls the purse strings, and we need to use it. Now, I understand we've got a slim majority, but this isn't. You don't play politics with the crisis that we're experiencing right now. And you use every lever possible, and it is. I mean, there's some things that we proposed, the lower spending levels. We could put some amendments on the floor that funded the military, funded the TSA agents and others, and give people a chance to vote. We just wanted to see it vote, and see a vote on the floor. Yeah. But I don't look on this as, we just disagree with Mike Johnson, and if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. We just can't have a shutdown. Well, right. I disagree. Why fund a government that is working against American people?
Right, but I guess, like I said, the flip side of that is you shut it down. Let's move on. You mentioned the border. I do want to talk to you about the border because Republicans on the House Homeland Security Committee voting to advance the impeachment push for Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. They're going to mark up an impeachment resolution before the end of the month. And then they're going to hold a final impeachment hearing, or they already did. They heard some testimony. This was yesterday. They heard this emotional testimony from 2 victims of the border crisis. Josephine Dunn, she lost her daughter to fentanyl. I want you to watch this.
In my humble opinion, Mr. Mayorkas' border policies is partially responsible for my daughter's death. His wide-open border policy allows massive quantities of poisonous fentanyl into our country. Arizona is the fentanyl superhighway into the United States. My family is broken. My heart is broken, and he couldn't even be here to face me today. Whatever he's doing, that is more important than facing me today. I don't know what that could be.
So just to be clear, he was unable to sit for testimony. He had a planned trip to Mexico. But that testimony, heartbreaking, Congressman, heartbreakingly honest.
Well, it's so sad. You know, the saying, there are no treatment centers in morgues. That was from an agent that testified in front of a small committee that we had. And look at Tammy Nobles, whose daughter, I think, was killed by MS-13. A MS gang member, and then Miss Dunn's by fentanyl, and that's just one of thousands that are being killed. And this Mayorkas is carrying out the orders of the Biden administration. So he just you know, the Biden administration is defaulted with this. I'm still for the impeachment. I know that the Biden administration would put up somebody as bad as he is, but it's criminal what this administration is doing to the American people.
Well, and there's been, we've had reports that behind closed doors he's threatened some of you and your colleagues and said, look, if you get rid of me, it's going to be a worse replacement. Real quick, I got to ask you about New Hampshire before we go. We're just 4 days away, sir. South Carolina is February 24th. The Wall Street Journal has a piece called Nikki Haley has a South Carolina problem. Her home state is Trump country. You've endorsed Haley, but does she have a strategy for South Carolina?
Well, first of all, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, we just had in Iowa the first caucus outcome. Nikki Haley did very well. 2-point difference between she and DeSantis. And she will do well in South Carolina. I don't think she's got a problem. She is showcasing her talent. And that's why she's the only candidate that's continued to rise in the polls, and that's why I'm excited for her prospects, because she is she's the only candidate that can beat Joe Biden by 17 points, and that's going to continue. And we're not, you know, this is a race that I am welcoming to see how this thing turns out. She will do well in New Hampshire, and she'll do well in South Carolina.
Congressman Ralph Norman, obviously from South Carolina. Sir, great to have you on the program. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right.